Have you ever thought about the notion that allowing her space would be the best method to get her attention? Imagine putting all your effort into pursuing her, but as it gets harder, you change tactics. Quiet. The dynamics abruptly shift significantly. Welcome to the conversation today, in which we'll combine the conventional approaches. In this film, we examine modern data psychology and the age-old wisdom of Stoicism to show why sometimes backing off can be the best approach to attract women. Being a woman means being tough and hard to get. One can deliberately develop the qualities of self-control and mental toughness. Withdrawing your freedom, you not only capture her interest, but also compel her to follow you. Get ready to learn how focusing, simplicity, and making space can improve your productivity. Are you prepared to explore the potential benefits of minimalism? Stay tuned, and don't forget to click like. Sign up for more concepts that have the potential to change lives. Place the highest value possible into your connections. Take a step back as she pursues you, and she will start to realize your true value. Imagine this. When you stop trying to win her attention or approval all the time, something powerful happens to you, and you transform into a rare and valuable gem that everyone wants to find. Consider it this way. She may not have noticed your table addition because you were always available and willing to help. But now that you've given yourself some space, it's easier to see your contributions. She's not just noticing your presence. She's feeling the impact of your absence. Perhaps it's the way you could always make her smile on a difficult day, or the specific ways you supported her during trying times. I haven't fully enjoyed those quiet moments and inside jokes. Perhaps it's the little things you do to show her how much you care, like remembering a song she loves or bringing her comfort food when she needs a lift. She finds herself alone, lost in her thoughts, reviewing all the ways you made her life better, many of which she may not have known about. She receives abrupt signals of understanding, and these memories are replaying in her head. From a Stoic perspective, you and her are going through this shift as you realize you're gone. She transforms things that were once normal into things she genuinely misses. Stoic principle: regaining your self-esteem necessitates taking a step back and refraining from seeking approval. Value yourself and don't base your happiness on other people's opinions of you or else personality on someone else's. Realize that the opinions of others do not determine your worth. After you stop pursuing her, you should start writing your own story and navigating your own life. She begins to yearn for the moments when you were her pillar of strength, providing her with happiness, support, and love, without requiring anything in return. She is beginning to understand the true value of your presence, not because you sought her attention, but because you chose to step back and allow her to experience the emptiness instead. Concepts like investing money in things that make you content and pursuing your dreams help her realize how much you really added to her best times as a person. Now that you know how powerful it is to step back and realize how valuable you are, it's time to stop and reflect on how this relates to your own life. Have you ever consistently sought approval, or have you ever accepted yourself? If this message resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments. If you can perceive it, you can experience it, or simply put, I am my own treasure. She gained a fresh perspective on your significance, not merely as an additional choice in her life. I'll let you know when she comes to this realization, my friend. She feels as though she's unearthed a hidden gem or treasure that has only recently surfaced. I'll let you know when she arrives at this realization. Ideas about how significant you are always welcome, and they might even inspire someone else to embark on the same journey. Let's continue conversing as we move on to the next point. 2. Rising attraction. We often hear that time does not foster fondness in the heart. However, there is much truth to this saying, so let's examine it further by fusing it with Stoic wisdom. When you pull back, you're not just creating a space. Rather, what I mean is creating things that are intriguing, mysterious, and most importantly, valuable. Imagine that you stop calling and texting her and instead concentrate on your goals, development, and progress from a Stoic perspective. Your strength lies in your self-improvement. You're not looking for her validation or approval. You no longer need reassurance. Your purpose keeps you grounded. This quiet certainty comes through strongly without you having to say a word. Consider her perception when you alter the frequency of your calls and texts, demonstrating that you're not seeking gain through any means necessary. Suddenly you become more difficult to attract her attention. She inquires about your activities, whether you're pursuing your dreams or dedicating time to your work or hobbies. This aids in creating a sense of mystery around you, a puzzle she eagerly seeks to unravel during your absence. Her perception of the person you're becoming starts to shape her opinion of you. She saw things in a way that your previous pursuits may have obscured. She recalls why she initially liked you because of your wit, drive, and fun. Now that you've stopped pursuing her, your allure is growing stronger. The Stoic philosophy asserts that we possess no control over the opinions of others, and the sole method to regulate our emotions and thoughts is to distance ourselves. By taking this measure, you prove that your happiness is unaffected by her appearance, demonstrating her self-respect. She is beautiful by nature and has the ability to sense when you no longer want to follow her. If she was the focal point of your world before you shifted your focus, she would be serene and self-sufficient. The gap enhances her attractiveness, prompting her to contemplate your location and activities and why you're not as open. This mystery makes her more interested, but furthermore, abandoning the pursuit clearly communicates your self-worth. You won't give up your pride or honor for anyone's attention. Your stoic attitude shows through you, staying cool, collected, and unattached to what you need. She likes you because you focus on life changes and growth. This speaks volumes more than any fancy moves she may make in the future. Start missing you, noticing the little things that caught her attention. At first, there's something about your way with words, your quiet confidence, or the times you spend together that seem to stop time when you're not in the spotlight. All of these qualities shine more. That's right, guys. She starts to see you in a new way. When desire is present in action is often best. From pursuit, by not giving her too much attention, you let her interest grow. She blossoms naturally without any stress. 13 she gets. Imagine this. You've been relentlessly chasing her all time. The one making the first move, and trying to see her almost like a child every morning. You send her a message about chasing a kite on a windy day. When you message her, you often find yourself in places she likes, hoping she'll see you. Notice that all of a sudden, you stop sending good morning texts. When you stop meeting up with her, it's like you're no longer on her mind as a quiet void. What do you think will happen next? That's the point when you take a step back. You break the familiar rhythm, and everything changes. She is accustomed to having a constant stream of questions about what's happening. Why did he suddenly retract his actions? Now you've become an enigma, beyond her comprehension. Solve the problem, and this is where her interest starts to grow. Is very silent. Instead of trying to control what happens, you let it happen. Things naturally change without requiring assistance, and interest plays a significant role in this process. It's part of being human, especially when things don't go as planned. You stop chasing her and stop giving her all your attention. She'll check her phone to see if she has any missed texts from you, or when she hears your voice. If you say her name, she'll pay more attention and become suddenly interested in what you're doing. She's thinking about your whereabouts and activities, and the reason you've stopped trying to get her attention. Think about this. The longer you chase them with your hands, the more they feel in control. They have power, but when you pull away and stop trying to get her approval, you go through a deep change and regain your power. Now she misses you more, not because you're after her, but because your absence has made her miss you. She is interested in that new place and wonders what she might have missed. It's important to know if she has lost interest in you, or if you've moved on. This transition to new experiences or friends is similar to Stoicism. Seeking acceptance from others all the time is a sign of wisdom. However, once you take a step back and cease pursuing her, you liberate yourself from the stress of the chase and enhance your attractiveness as the process goes on. Your self-confidence and assurance grow, because you're no longer if you rely on her approval to feel good about yourself. Here's the harsh truth. People are drawn to things that, when left unanswered, seem out of reach and become an unsolved puzzle, leading her to think about you more frequently. This isn't because you're playing games, but rather because you've changed into an intriguing person who makes people think. Before you realize it, you've shifted the topic, causing her to notice a change in the most captivating aspect of her day. Before you know it, she'll be actively pursuing you, eager to discover the reason behind your sudden interest in her. She frequently changes her mind, and that's how you effortlessly alter the story. You become the enigma, and she yearns to unravel the mystery that enchants her. Taking responsibility for your well-being and happiness before moving on boosts your attractiveness. Let's take a moment to consider what has happened. There has been a big change. You can gently show her how valuable you are by letting her get interested. But deep change is based on Stoic thought, where detached thinking indicates that you have inner strength and a natural attraction. This is an effortless statement to make, but it implies that you have control over your own energy. Fourthly, she exudes confidence and takes time to reflect. What do you think of this approach? Have you ever had one? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below if you agree with this. Here's a fascinating. As you step back, she begins to feel a strong sense of your absence. She doesn't just fade into the background, but instead sparks, something she may never have done before. It's as if you've held a mirror in front of her for the first time. She gains a fresh perspective on herself and begins to question her past actions. When she previously altered your plans, did she behave in an excessively harsh manner? Did her responses appear uninteresting, or did her laughter at your story seem forced? If so, she might begin to question whether what she did caused you to grow apart from her. This is where it becomes tough, since it captures her. Her focus transforms her thoughts into a courtroom, where she assumes the roles of both the judge and the accused. Talk over outdated recordings and go over texts, analyzing previous conversations to find any errors she may have made. Her tone of voice came across as aloof and a little bit chilly. This is not just a passing concern. She begins a serious introspective process. I was compelled to extensively study her actions, attitudes, and readiness to connect along the journey when she starts to think about her acts in a manner she hasn't thought about before she looks through all of your old images of you together. But why does this happen? She questions not only the nature of your relationship with her but also yourself, because of the void your departure has left behind. This is where your Stoic knowledge shines through when you take a step back and exercise emotional restraint. Instead of reacting to her behavior, she displays detachment and other basic Stoic traits. When you're desperate or try to solve things right away, you choose to focus. Unlike other Stoics, you're not looking for her approval or reassurance. Epicus once remarked that although we can't alter the outside environment, we can always alter how we react to it. This shift often leads her to unexpected insights, as you've chosen to let her go rather than follow her. When she looks back now that you've given her space, she might discover that she wasn't as committed as she could have been, or that she followed your advice to grow. She might also recognize that she didn't put in enough work. The true beauty of Stoicism in relationships is that it allows her to reach these realizations and shows her that she is capable of making her own decisions free from outside pressure. She has grown more conscious of how she treats you and other people around her as a result of having time to think things through. You are taking advantage of people while living your life to the fullest and pursuing your own objectives. In addition to waiting for her, you are becoming a resilient person who will serve you well in any situation. You've developed the skill of knowing when to set yourself apart from other influences, and that your worth comes from within, not from her attention. If you choose to reconnect with her, you'll likely discover her transformation. I'm more intrigued. Ed is grateful for your absence, and she may even feel a stronger attraction to you now that she has had more time to contemplate their mutually beneficial arrangement. This is Chase's silent power in relationships, helping both of you grow into better people. You've both experienced positive growth and transformation, and things have changed for the better in your relationship now. When you gain an advantage over her, stopping following her won't cost you anything. She showed her inner strength by giving her time to reflect and release the urge to grow. Think about this circumstance for a moment. Taking a step back prompts her to reflect, and she begins to comprehend her thoughts. She finds herself lost and starts to comprehend why she didn't appreciate those moments more during their occurrence. This change is more than just psychology. It's a lesson in letting go. If you're with her all the time, she might forget the small things you do to make her day better. She didn't feel better after talking to you or being with you, but she did when she was with you. Stoicism tells people to focus on themselves and not on what they can't reach, taking one's happiness away from. By distancing one's happiness from other people's actions and regaining your strength by stepping back, you're providing her with the opportunity to discover her own worth. For instance, if you consistently invite your friend over, she might not express her gratitude. If she doesn't call to explain why she can't go on those enjoyable trips, this could potentially lead her to question her own worth. Be interested in meeting with you again when she changes her goals to include you more carefully. It means more she cares about your part in her life and isn't just interested in a passing fancy. You are prepared to invest effort into the relationship. If you hadn't taken a step back, this change wouldn't have occurred. By showing Stoic knowledge and giving up on trying to get her approval, you give her the chance to see how important you are at her own pace. Pretty much when a woman starts to pay attention to if she frequently includes you, it's a strong indication that she's more than just. It's interesting that she is committed. A change in goals only occurs when you stop and let her come up to you. So remember that sometimes the best way it's a step forward to relinquish control and have faith in the inevitable on their own. If you've read this far, please share your thoughts with me. If you've been through this, leave a comment below and tell us about it. If this resonates with you, simply type. I embrace the power of letting your voice matters, and I'm interested in how you utilize it. She understands this. Let's move on to number 6. Imagine yourself exerting a great deal of effort to capture her attention and incorporating her feelings into every aspect of your conversation. But suddenly you find yourself pausing. This isn't because you're angry or defeated, but rather because you've had a profound insight, based on Stoicism and wisdom. By stopping your pursuit, you give her the opportunity to do something she hadn't planned on doing. Think about your relationship frequently. This is when things really start to change. A slight shift in tone makes you less approachable and diverts attention from you to her whenever she wants it. When you move and look at her back, the dynamics shift as if you've ignited a notion or understanding that wasn't there before she started feeling emotions and had buried this idea. Stoicism teaches us to give up control over immutable factors and focus on our inner sphere. When you stop chasing, you detach yourself from external influences like her attention or how she reacts and instead work on your own. Mental peace, strength, and self-esteem. This self-focus allows her to reflect on her true feelings for you during the times when you were constantly texting or calling. She didn't have to consider how crucial your presence was to her plans. In fact, she might have even anticipated it. I took you for granted, but now that you're gone, there's a gap, and as they say, nature hates a vacuum, so she starts to notice things she had missed before, like your words made her happy or being close to you made her feel safe. It's as if you've paused a film and she's now recapitulating all the crucial segments once more. She didn't think much about those times because she could always see you all here. This is where the real power lies, as Marcus Aurelius often said. The obstacle to things that are in the way become the way. When you step back, your absence makes her realize how important you are to her. She might laugh at a joke you told her or notice how quiet her phone is with or without your texts. And each realization builds on the last. Leading to this was a powerful revelation. You enhance the value of her life in a way she was unaware of. Remember that until you step back, this realization doesn't happen. It's not an instantaneous process. Instead, there's a slow buildup of embers that might start a fire. I'm wondering where you are, with whom, and most importantly, why you're not there. She senses your absence and wants to address it. Gentlemen, achieving success may not always require relentless pursuit and hard work. Her own feelings, and the fact that she comes to this conclusion on her own, are beautiful. She changed her mind on her own, so you didn't have to try to convince her. Give her the space to go through it. She can find her heart in the silent strength of standing aside, allowing herself to feel what she felt with you and how she will feel without you. That's the typical technique of coping with stress. Keep yourself and everything else in check. The dread of losing comes in 8th on the list. Imagine this moment as soon as you stop attempting to capture her attention. Your moment of clarity will be more meaningful because she did it, not you. It's like you've changed the rules, and she's not sure if you're still drawn to the past. Your attempts to get her attention are now her top priorities. It deeply concerns me to contemplate why you've resisted this shift. Pulling back has made you less available. Our natural tendency is to want things that are just out of reach, so when something starts to move away, it makes us value it more. This is a powerful psychological trick. We have become accustomed to the fear of losing you. You become unexpected and difficult to catch. Doubt causes her to feel unstable, which leads her to constantly check herself when she checks her phone for a text message that doesn't come very often. She may wonder if she did something wrong or pushed you away at this time, as her worry about losing you grows. Here's where the values of Stoicism align perfectly with this dynamic. You shift from being easily detectable to being elusive. There is a highly sought-after secret prize that is not as simple to obtain as it once was. Her thoughts suddenly turn to you. Her fear of losing you drives her to action. The obvious lack of your efforts makes her feel the change very strongly. She could start more conversations with him, send him texts, or try to reconcile. Spark begins to put in the same amount of effort as you did in an attempt to reclaim the connection she believes is fading. By rejecting her, you show that you can handle your emotions and believe in yourself without her approval. Instead of reacting emotionally, you choose to remain stoic. By stepping back, you demonstrated to her the importance of your final remarks and provided her with time to contemplate the potential consequences of giving you her undivided focus. It's not just about games, but also about comprehending the inherent reciprocity. Where you're not playing a game when you stop chasing someone. Instead, your focus is on your progress, your peace, and your health. By doing this, you give her the opportunity to move forward with this method, which is powerful but comes with self-respect, not duty, and should motivate you as a Stoic. Trolling your decision to retreat isn't about taking advantage of her attention. It's about realizing how valuable you are and making the decision not to do what doesn't help you. When you pull away, you give her the chance to genuinely appreciate your presence, feel the anxiety of being without it, and develop an understanding of the long-term value of your presence in her life, as it demonstrates your independence. As we come to a close, consider how this dynamic manifests in relationships. Have you ever experienced it? It's amazing how moving back can change everything in a shift like this. Making space for someone can make them consider what they've been taking for granted. Please let me know what you think about this, whether you've seen it in real life or if it fits with how you handle things. Feel free to share your thoughts by leaving a note below. Rather, I recognize my own worth. Let's start with the next idea that occurred to her using that 18th state of mind, competitive edge. Should this term resonate with you, imagine that you've been pursuing her relentlessly, using your power to tip the scales in your favor, making it easy for her to capture your attention. But what happens when you suddenly back off? Though jealousy may be a factor, she must consider other people igniting her fire to chase you for your love. In part, she wants to prove to herself how valuable she is, which is why she wants to cease requiring your time and attention as soon as possible. You're essentially taking on the role of the pursuer, just as you did at the beginning. She makes an effort to close the distance as you move away, but it only gets wider. And whether she realizes it or not, she's not just trying to win you back. She is striving to embody her best self. She works extra hard to look good, and she will quickly become interested in your interests, such as your favorite music or sports. Her goal is to remind you of why you were first interested in her. Her natural competitiveness led her to win a prize in a game she wasn't even aware she was playing. Since men are sometimes strongest, I'll encourage her to lead. ISM teaches us how important it is to be able to control ourselves. Being patient and understanding that we can only control ourselves are all important. Take a step back and avoid letting your emotions interfere with others. You persistently follow her, displaying a calm confidence that is truly present. By being beautiful, you show her that your worth comes from inside, not from this state of happiness and indifference. The best course of action is to step back and wait for her to approach you. This will encourage her to compete and help her embody the Stoic principles of independence and inner calm. As we draw to a close today's discussion, it's important to remember that stepping back is okay. You're not after anyone. You're letting a situation unfold. She will either step up or allow you to move. You can feel secure in the knowledge that your value has never been dependent on her. Sometimes the best approach to attracting a woman is to do more than just change the conventional pace. Being tough also means maintaining your dignity and taking care of yourself. We have control over ourselves if we put our attention on our own lives rather than relentlessly pursuing someone else. If you do this, your attractiveness will naturally increase. This space provides her with time to reflect, and if you consistently remind her of this, she will often realize what she has been missing. The strategy isn't about tricks, rather it's about being honest with yourself. When you stop trying to win others over, you gain confidence in yourself, regain your power, and project a confident, calm aura that attracts people. Of course, if you found this talk helpful, please share it and remember to click like. And click the subscribe button to see more stories-related videos. View the recommended videos on your screen to gain additional insight on how to effectively achieve your goals. I appreciate you seeing today. I'll see you in the following video.